Aloha everybody, welcome back. Robert Doyle here with your XRP update. I know we all love XRP on this channel and that's why I talk about it so much. I'm so passionate about it. We got some interesting stuff that came out today. We're going to talk about John Deaton. We're going to talk about the case. We're going to talk about the Bill Hinman emails. I'm going to catch you up on kind of some ETHgate stuff. We're going to go through what's happening right now. And I think people are taking this the wrong way. I think you need to read, when people put out stuff like this, people think this is coming from the head of the SEC. We're going to talk about this, but if you read what John Deaton says here, he says where he actually, the information does come from. So we're going to talk about it all, but check this out. So this is Ray Fuentes. He used to work for Ripple. Then he went to work for Link2, but he's talking with Freddie Riz here, who's an attorney at Ripple. I'm going to go past the dad joke here, this halibut joke where they laugh. Yeah, all right, so let's get into the real information. All right, here we go. So he's going to talk about what he thinks is going to happen here in the case over the next couple weeks, okay?
Nice dad joke right there. Dad joke for the win.
Saves you the dad joke.
So what I said with Tony, and the main takeaway is we are ticking away the days when we're finally going to get this result from this case that's just been dragging on forever. And it's either going to come down a handful of ways. There's going to be a complete and total Ripple win. Still think that's a 10% chance. There's going to be a complete and total SEC win. I'd say that's 1% or less. And then you've got what's most likely, which is there's going to be a little give and take. There's going to be some wins and some losses for each side. I think we got to get a jury trial going on whether these initial Ripple sales of XRP were securities or not. And I think we'll get some type of ruling that XRP is not a security, but
that is the main point, right? Ripple can go to court and fight the initial battle, right? The initial sales of XRP were those security sales. They can go to court for years on that. We don't care about that. We care about is does the SEC consider XRP a security right now? That is the main point we want to think. And secondary sales in the secondary market are not considered securities, considered a currency. That is all we care about, okay?
Whether the secondary sales are, judge isn't going to touch it. That's going to be a battle for another day, but it's essentially going to be a win because she's going to say, I think I'm not dealing with secondary sales. It's not before me and it's not going to be part of this trial. So we still got a lot up in the air, but man, 3 weeks, 4 weeks left before we figure out what's going on the summary judgment ruling. It's exciting times. Awesome.
So now you have one of the attorneys on the Ripple team saying 3 to 4 weeks out, guys, we're close. And this is actually Freddie Riz. This is his Twitter. And he says, to elaborate on my own wild speculation, Judge Torres' rulings may have prodded the parties into accepting their weaknesses, and there is a last-minute ditch effort at a settlement. The only settlement that makes sense to me at this point would be that Ripple pays a large penalty, probably one of the bigger ones that we've ever seen here, especially with crypto, and must register its future XRP sales on an agreed-upon basis. And XRP is not a security. Secondary XRP sales are not security transactions. That is really the biggest thing we want here, guys. That is what we're looking for, and that would be the secret sauce. And then you do have some stuff coming out here. The fate of XRP, entire crypto industry may hinge on the Hinman documents, right? So we got a ruling on the Hinman documents, and I'm going to talk to you about them. Here's this article that came out about this, and so it says Ripple's effects from the SEC suit could strengthen Coinbase litigation. So it talks a little bit, it warms you up about what's going on here, but it says unpacking the Hinman documents. So a significant hinge point in the SEC versus Ripple case in the internal deliberation that took place at the agency regarding the now infamous Hinman speech. In 2018, then SEC Director William Hinman delivered a speech in which he said neither Bitcoin nor Ethereum were securities, a declaration that appears to be at odds with the SEC's recent statements on the issue. Complicating matters further for the SEC, Judge Annalisa Torres denied the agency request that documents related to the Hinman speech be sealed. Her decision will give the public a look under the hood at the SEC's rulemaking process, and it relates to digital assets. It's a big blow for the nation's top finance regulator. So basically, when these big regulators go give speeches, they have to send these speeches to their law side of things. Is this okay? Can I say this? And they'll have back and forth. I don't think you should say this, or maybe you should add that, right? So there's all of these internal emails, lots I've heard. And so they're talking about what's in his speech and what he's going to say. And if we start finding out that, hey, they're saying, hey, maybe you shouldn't say Ethereum is not a security, and he goes and does it anyways, we're going to show you what was happening during the time that when he was giving these speeches, that Bill Hinman was getting money from his old law firm. Anyways, let's just keep going with this video. So this is the new news that everyone's going crazy over, but I just want to read this to you and let us understand this together and not go batshit crazy. A contemporaneous SEC communication suggests that the SEC's own officials were aware that the speech would lead to blank and deliberately recommended giving industry participants blank, presumably to give the agency more room to maneuver. The SEC also equivocated that whether Hinman's speech reflected official SEC guidance. None should be therefore treated as a security. Okay, so this is the juicy part. And it says, there are reasonable grounds to conclude that XRP does not satisfy all the elements of the Howey analysis and therefore is not a security for purposes of federal securities laws, right? So if you don't know this, 2015, FinCEN, which is another regulator in the US, has said that XRP is a currency. Even on the own SEC's website, they had XRP listed as a currency and not a security. So people are like reacting to this because they think it's an internal email. But if you read John Deaton's stuff here, see, check this out. The SEC wanted all statements by SEC staff redacted, and when it appears that they were all. What this tells me is that there was a statement about XRP not satisfying Howey is not a direct quote from a senior SEC official. Otherwise, it would be redacted. So he's saying the whole quote would have been redacted if that was the case. He says, I've concluded the statement was made by a market participant independent of Ripple and not the SEC, but it was referenced by someone in the Hinman emails or a third-party email forwarding to Hinman in the email group discussing the speech. I always want my comments to be based on facts, so I'm making this clarification. Although it isn't a direct quote from the SEC official, it's still damaging as hell because it demonstrates XRP was disclosed, or was discussed, Someone at the SEC passed this XRP opinion to the email group for a reason, and so that's why we want to see what's there, right? All right, so now we have what happened, what was leading up to this, right? And you have, so this is, check out Joe Lubin's response to this question about Ripple. This took place, the clip I'm about to show you took place hours after the Hinman speech on the same stage, June 14, 2018. So in this clip, you're going to hear that Joseph Lubin, just let me play the clip for you, man, and then we'll talk about it. It'll blow your mind. He's saying he hasn't been there, but he didn't get time to read through the whole speech, meaning he had the speech delivered to him, or he had the speech. Let me just play it.
Okay, so I want to get your quick answers to a few things before we get to a final round of questions. What do you think's going to happen to Ripple?
Okay, he's wearing an Ethereum shirt here, guys. Listen, he's promoting Ethereum. Okay, this is your centralized identity promoting the cryptocurrency still today, right? All right.
With this new ruling.
I don't know the answer to that. I wasn't able to read through Bill's entire speech, and I wasn't here. I don't know if he
I didn't get to read through Bill's entire speech, and I wasn't here. So if he wasn't there to hear the speech, and how does he have the speech? And when was he reading through it? At what time? Did he have the speech before Bill Hinman got on stage to do that? If Joseph Lubin, who's one of the key people in Ethereum consensus, was out there, had his speech, knew what was going to happen, this guy, who knows who many people he told or what these guys did to do this, but there's some money behind this, and we're going to get to that in a second. Let me finish this.
If he spoke about XRPs at all?
He didn't specifically mention anything about it.
That's interesting.
That's interesting.
The fact that he named two other things but didn't name that one is certainly something that should perk up ears.
Yeah, and then he attacks XRP there, right? Joseph Lubin is not the most decent person in the world, but hey, we all have our faults. I have my faults. June 8, 2018, 6 days before the Hinman speech, Mike Novogratz, which is another Ethereum freaking maxi whale, he bought like 500,000 Ethereum at $1. I think he was like at $1 way before, and he bought it on a side deal. These guys make so much shady deals on the side. Can't wait to see those Hinman emails. So let me play this. 6 days before the Hinman speech and 6 days before what I just played for you.
Bitcoin they've already said it's not a security, okay? But Ethereum, they haven't ruled on yet. I bet dimes to donuts. They will say Ethereum probably was a security, but it's not anymore. And they're stuck because they were ahead. There is this group of tokens that were issued, probably 2,500 in total, but in reality, probably 200 that matter, that are in this kind of regulatory no man's land. And they got to figure out how to deal with that. And they're working on that right now. My gut feeling is they're going to take out a law firm. They're going to take out a token. They're going to take out some of the promoters of these things, just to say, dudes, you got to play by the rules. But when we're talking to them about going forward in the future, they're very constructive at wanting to see this new innovative way of financing companies, of bringing liquidity and access to markets to the general population that they never had. Bitcoin is, they've already.
I love how people that don't play by the rules always talk about playing by the rules. It's that thing that, you know, when you're doing something wrong and you point at another person and say, that person's doing what I'm doing, just to put all of the heat off of you and onto somebody else. That's exactly what that is right there. This is June 7th, 7 days before the Hinman free speech. Executive JP Morgan, Brett Redfern, Director of the Division of Trading Markets at the SEC. Check this out.
The chairman declined to say whether Ether or Ripple were actual securities, but is it fair to say that this is likely ultimately going to be litigated in the courts?
It's unclear to me whether or not that's going to be litigated, and I don't want to speak about any specific products. And I do believe that there will be statements on at least one of those products forthcoming in the future about providing some more guidance on.
Okay, so he just told you there are statements that are going to be coming, right? This is 7 days. This is a week before Hinman gave that speech about Ethereum being not a security. So this is William Hinman, former director, okay, at the SEC, okay? And so what we have here is the Hinman deposition, a review of what we deserve to know. All right, so tomorrow, the magistrate judge Netburn is scheduled to hold a hearing to discuss whether to grant the SEC's motion to squash the deposition of the former SEC Division of Cooperation Finance Director William Hinman. The judge may even issue an order on this pivotal matter during tomorrow's hearing. And so it goes back to this, but also you got to understand that Bill Hinman got money from he got $15 million since his Ethereum, Simpson Thacher, and millions of dollars in his bank account before and after his tenure at the SEC. Him and his partner at his law firm Simpson Thacher, which he sits at, and so the law firm Simpson Thacher, they sit on the Ethereum Alliance. Okay, so you have the law firm now is paying Bill Hinman $15 million, and his law firm is connected with the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance. Does anybody see an issue with his speech and what he said? Anybody? Raise your hand, please. I'm trying to slow this down so everybody can see, you know, how I'm looking at this, but this looks like some shady ass dealing, and I want to know what is in these emails. Let's see it. Enterprise Ethereum Alliance, a coalition of organizations devoted to the business case for Ethereum blockchain. In 2018, Hinman declared offers and sales of Ether are not securities transactions in a speech that is still available on the SEC's website, sending its value soaring. Hinman received millions in payments from the firm while he was at the SEC, including when he was preparing and delivering those remarks. That is what we're talking about here, guys. That is the big thing, right? And then you have the big breaking. Court victory for Ripple. Judge denies SEC motion to seal the Hinman documents. What does this mean? We're going to get some of the Hinman documents. We might not get everything, and there's going to be redactions. They're going to have to talk about it, and it's going to be, but a lot of information is going to come to light, and you better believe I'm going to bring you the information on this channel because I love it. I love it. All right, here's a little clip. This is from, I just want to show you Crypto Web AI. I want to give this person an NFT Premier _ just a shout out. Let me play this real quick.
Defense.
When we look at Bitcoin or we look at Ether and the highly decentralized nature of the networks, we don't see a third-party promoter where...
You don't see a third-party promoter. Okay. I get that. All right. So, you don't see a third-party promoter. This is hours after he gave the speech.
Applying the disclosure regime would make a lot of sense. So we're comfortable in some viewing these as items that don't have to be regulated as securities.
The judge's ruling against sealing the documents could have broader implications for cryptocurrency regulation, highlighting the SEC's inconsistent approach and sparking further debate on the classification of cryptocurrencies as securities. What do you guys think about it?
All right, and last but not least, we have this, which is what happened basically in the last 7 days. This was posted, I think, like a day or two ago, 1 day ago. And this is from ISO. Go follow this person. He posts a lot of great information. Always want to show much respect to the people that are actually out here grinding through this information all day long, trying to help people. I love people like this, so give him some love, or give he or she some love. I don't know if it's he or she, but it says, let me get this straight. So within the last 7 days, we've seen the following from Ripple. Hidden emails ruling. Metaco 250 million acquisition. I did a video about Metaco and all the juicy connections. That video should be dropping either today or tomorrow. Look out for that video. If you're watching this video, that video is already out, so go back and watch that. I'll try to link that video with this. Hong Kong CBDC pilot. Ex-Amazon CFO joining the team. Not to mention earlier this month, Ripple expanded into Dubai and also was ranked #1 in CDC vendors against 15 of its competitors. Guys, we are getting closer and closer every day. I get goosebumps feeling about it. If you watch this video all the way through, give me something like I don't know, goosebumps, man. We're going to give away 100 XRP. I know it's not a lot. I try to do a giveaway every now and then. It's coming out of my own bag. So 100 XRP, goosebumps, and whatever you guys feel about Hinman emails, leave a comment down below. You can share it with somebody you know. We got to spread the word, guys, because I feel like the time to buy XRP under $1 might be fading. Once we do get a judge decision here, and the judge has already gone back to the SEC and said, hey, look, you guys are losing here. Go make a deal. And Gary Gensler cannot have a lose on his belt, right? Under his belt. So what are you going to do? You're going to have to make a deal. And that deal is going to have that secondary sales of XRP are not securities, right? They can go to court and fight about the first IPO stuff, right? They can go, not the IPO, excuse me, the initial coin offerings when Ripple sold to their partners and things like that. They can go back and deal with that. We don't care. We care about secondary sales, and XRP is not a security. 95% of the world, XRP is a currency. There's only one regulator in this country, the SEC, that thinks XRP is a security, and that was done by some shadiness by Bill Hinman and Jay Clayton years ago. And we're gonna find out what happened, and whether it's like 2 out of a 10 or a 9 out of a 10, I'm gonna bring you the information. We're gonna go over it together and we'll make a decision on what to do with that information. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Appreciate you all. Much love. Goosebumps in the comments. 100 XRP. We'll give it about 5 or 6 days and I'll announce the winner. Thank you so much, guys. Bye.